She thought human pleasure was a myth, until he proved her wrong. Space looked peaceful that night. Stars glowed like gentle lamps hanging in a dark, endless sky. But peace in space is a lie. Peace is only the silence before something terrible wakes up. The human scout ship, Horizon 12, drifted across the outer rim. No alarms. No danger alerts. Just quiet engines and soft humming of life support systems. Inside, the 5 crew members were relaxed. They joked. They talked. They trusted the silence, but they did not know. Something was already watching them. Captain Rhys Warren sat in the command chair, calm and thoughtful. He had the kind of face that didn't show fear, not because he felt none, but because he had learned to carry it. His crew respected that. Lieutenant Maya checked navigation. Clear path ahead. No activity. The rim is quiet as always, Rhys nodded. Then we enjoy the view. They believed tonight would be easy. They were wrong. The first sign, the lights. Flickered, just once, barely noticeable, but experienced. Humans notice small things. Rhys turned his head slowly. Maya, check long-range sensors. Maya frowned. Her fingers moved quickly. The screen shifted. Then, read multiple contacts. Fast, big, unknown, sir. Something is coming through subspace. Before she could finish, space ripped open, not like explosion. Not like warp, like teeth tearing cloth. Out of the tear came black warships bigger than cities, dozens. Their hulls were spiked, sharp and burning with red engine light. They looked like predators. The crew froze. No one screamed. No one panicked. They waited for the captain to speak. Rhys inhaled. Slowly, everyone stay calm. The enemy reveals itself, a voice crackled through the comms, metallic, cold, confident. I am Commander Vrax of the Krylon Dominion. This region now belongs to us. Human vessel, you will surrender, Maya whispered. Krylon, not possible. They don't come this far. They avoid Earth space. Rhys didn't raise his voice. This is sovereign human territory. We request peaceful dialogue. Silence. Then laughter. A sound like grinding metal. Peace? Humans still believe in peace? The Krylon commander scoffed. How cute. Rhys's eyes narrowed, but his voice stayed calm. We do not seek conflict. Conflict has already found you, Vrax replied. The Krylon ships fired grapplers. The Horizon 12 shook violently. The hull screamed under pressure. The humans didn't scream. They moved, fast, trained, professional. No weapons, Rhys ordered. No aggression. Let them take us alive. To the Krylon, surrender was weakness. To humans, surrender was strategy. Boarding. The Krylon boarded the ship in heavy armored suits. Standing over 7 feet tall, claws sharp, eyes burning orange. Born warriors. Born conquerors, they expected humans to beg. But the humans stood in formation. Hands visible. Breathing steady. Eyes clear. Commander Vrax walked up to Rhys. You do not kneel. Rhys held his gaze. We do not kneel. The Krylon soldiers shifted. Uncomfortable. Humans weren't acting like prey. They were watching, studying, measuring. Maya's eyes moved across the enemy helmets, the wall panels, the door locks. She didn't look afraid. She looked like she was memorizing everything. Commander Vrax grabbed Rhys by the uniform. You should fear me. Rhys's voice stayed level. Oh, I do. Vrax smiled. Victory assumed. Rhys finished. But fear is not control. Vrax hesitated, for the first time. Something about these humans was wrong. No panic. No collapse. Only patience. Taken, the humans were restrained, cuffed with plasma binders, and marched aboard the Krylon flagship, the Blood Horizon. A warship the size of a moon. Its hallways glowed with pulsing red veins of energy, like the ship itself was alive and hungry. The humans walked quietly. Steps in sync. Breathing steady, a young Krylon soldier whispered, Why are they so calm? Another answered, They are pretending. They are trying to look strong. But the humans weren't pretending. This was real discipline. Real training. Real experience, humans. Learned how to face fear long before they reached the stars, fire, war, storms, predators, time, Earth. Trained them. The Krylon thought they had captured prey. They had captured apex survivors. The quiet before the storm, inside the holding cell. The 5 crew members sat close, not speaking loud. Reese finally spoke. "We observe." "We wait. We act only once," Maya nodded. "They think we're beaten." Reese's calm eyes barely blinked. Then, "We let them think it." The lights flickered again, but this time it wasn't a glitch. Someone, or something, was already inside the Krylon systems. Faint line of scrolling. She thought human pleasure was a myth. Until he proved her wrong. Space looked peaceful that night. Stars glowed like gentle lamps hanging in a dark, endless sky. But peace in space is a lie. Peace is only the silence before something terrible wakes up. The human scout ship Horizon 12 drifted across the outer rim. No alarms, no danger alerts, just quiet engines and soft humming of life support systems. Inside, the 5 crew members were relaxed. They joked, they talked, they trusted the silence. But they did not know. Something was already watching them. Captain Reese Warren sat in the command chair, calm and thoughtful. He had the kind of face that didn't show fear, not because he felt none, but because he had learned to carry it. His crew respected that. Lieutenant Maya checked navigation. "Clear path ahead, no activity. The rim is quiet as always." Reese nodded. "Then we enjoy the view." They believed tonight would be easy. They were wrong. The first sign. The lights flickered. Just once, barely noticeable, but experienced humans notice small things. Reese turned his head slowly. "Maya, check long-range sensors." Maya frowned. Her fingers moved quickly. The screen shifted. Then, red, multiple contacts, fast, big. "Unknown. Sir, something is coming through subspace." Before she could finish, space ripped open. Not like explosion, not like warp, like teeth tearing cloth. Out of the tear came black warships bigger than cities, dozens. Their hulls were spiked, sharp and burning with red engine light. They looked like predators. The crew froze. No one screamed, no one panicked. They waited for the captain to speak. Reese inhaled slowly. "Everyone stay calm. The enemy reveals itself." A voice crackled through the comms, metallic, cold, confident. "I am Commander Vrax of the Krylon Dominion. This region now belongs to us. Human vessel, you will surrender." Maya whispered, "Krylon? Not possible. They don't come this far. They avoid Earth space." Reese didn't raise his voice. "This is sovereign human territory. We request peaceful dialogue." Silence, then laughter. A sound like grinding metal. Peace? Humans still believe in peace? The Krylon commander scoffed. "How cute." Reese's eyes narrowed, but his voice stayed calm. "We do not seek conflict. Conflict has already found you," Vrax replied. The Krylon ships fired grapplers. The Horizon 12 shook violently. The hulls screamed under pressure. The humans didn't scream. They moved. Fast. Trained. Professional. "No weapons," Reese ordered. "No aggression. Let them take us alive." To the Krylon, surrender was weakness. To humans, surrender was strategy. Boarding. The Krylon boarded the ship in heavy armored suits, standing over 7 feet tall, claws sharp, eyes burning orange. Born warriors, born conquerors. They expected humans to beg, but the humans stood in formation, hands visible, breathing steady, eyes clear. Commander Vrax walked up to Reese. "You do not kneel." Reese held his gaze. "We do not kneel." The Krylon soldiers shifted, uncomfortable. Humans weren't acting like prey. They were watching, studying, measuring. Maya's eyes moved across the enemy helmets, the wall panels, the door locks. She didn't look afraid. She looked like she was memorizing everything. Commander Vrax grabbed Reese by the uniform. "You should fear me." Reese's voice stayed level. "Oh, I do." Vrax smiled. Victory assumed. Reese finished. "But fear is not control." Vrax hesitated, for the first time. Something about these humans was wrong. No panic, no collapse, only patience. Taken. The humans were restrained, cuffed with plasma binders, and marched aboard the Krylon flagship, the Blood Horizon. A warship the size of a moon. Its hallways glowed with pulsing red veins of energy, like the ship itself was alive and hungry. The humans walked quietly, steps in sync, breathing steady. A young Krylon soldier whispered, "Why are they so calm?" Another answered, "They are pretending. They are trying to look strong." But the humans weren't pretending. This was real discipline, real training, real experience. Humans learned how to face fear long before they reached the stars. Fire, war, storms, predators, time. Earth trained them. The Krylon thought they had captured prey. They had captured apex survivors, the quiet before. The storm inside the holding cell. The 5 crew members sat close, not speaking loud. Reese finally spoke. "We observe. We wait. We act only once." Maya nodded. "They think we're beaten." Reese's calm eyes barely blinked. "Then we let them think it." The lights flickered again, but this time, it wasn't a glitch. Someone, or something, was already inside the Krylon systems. A faint line of scrolling code flashed behind Maya's eyes. She smiled very slightly. "They have no idea what they've just started." Reese didn't smile. He just whispered, "Then we show them." The Krylon believed they had captured 5 helpless humans. They did not understand. Humans do not surrender. They adapt. They plan. They endure. And when the time is right, they strike. The ship turns against its masters. The Krylon flagship, Blood Horizon, was built for war. Every hallway, every chamber, every bolt of alloy was designed to intimidate. But now, something had changed. The ship felt different. The air itself felt alert, almost as if the ship was watching its own crew, and the Krylon did not understand why. Krylon soldiers rushed through the corridors in tight formation, weapons in hand. They expected to find a human revolt, shouting, running, chaos. Instead, the ship was silent. Too silent. "Where are they?" One soldier growled. Another checked his scanner. No human life signs outside the holding cells. But the doors to those cells. "We're standing open. No guards, no alarms. No bodies. Just space. Empty space. Like ghosts had walked out." Meanwhile, the humans' Move Captain Reese led his small team through a narrow maintenance corridor. The humans moved fast but quiet, every footstep controlled, every breath paced. They did not need many words. Their communication now was nod, a hand signal, a brief look. This wasn't panic. This was training. They were heading for the central hub, the brain of the ship. Lieutenant Maya whispered into a tiny comlink. "Bridge routing locked. Only way to override is central hub relay." Reese nodded. "Then that's where we go." A third crew member. Davis swallowed hard. "We're 5 people against a warship." Reese didn't slow. "We don't need to overpower it." He looked over his shoulder. "We just have to turn it against itself. On the..." Bridge Commander Vrax slammed his claws onto the command table. "All units, find those humans!" His officers scrambled. Energy readings spiked. Security doors jammed. Weapon systems rebooted without orders. "Krylon ships do not lose to prey," Vrax roared. But an older Krylon tactician spoke quietly. "Commander, they are not prey." The room went silent. "What are you suggesting?" Vrax hissed. The tactician's eyes flickered with unease. "I have studied their history. Humans do not fear death. They use it." Vrax slammed him back with a clawed arm. "Useless superstition." But his voice did not sound confident. The first trap. The humans reached a massive corridor. Wide, bright, armored. "Movement ahead," Maya whispered. The Krylon strike squad appeared. Huge armored soldiers moving like a single machine. Their weapons pointed at the humans. Davis inhaled sharply. But Reese raised one hand. Not in surrender, but in signal. "Now," Maya tapped her wrist. The hallway lights exploded in a burst of white. The Krylon roared and covered their faces. Humans didn't. They had already closed their eyes. Flashbang. Timed to perfection. Silent countdown. Simple trick, but in space, simple works. The Krylon staggered. Disoriented, Reese gave the only order needed. "Move!" The humans slid past the soldiers, not firing, not fighting, not wasting energy. Efficiency. Even their escape was calculated. The central hub, the core of blood. Horizon was a cathedral of machinery. Giant energy conduits pulsed like a beating heart. This was the ship's soul. Its brain, its voice. If the humans controlled this room, they controlled everything. Maya rushed to the control interface. Her hands flew across the alien console, fast, precise, fearless. Davis and Porter guarded the door. Reese stood beside Maya. Status? Maya's voice was low, steady, confident. I have access. But I need time. Time, the one luxury humans rarely get. The one thing the Krylon were about to take away. The Krylon counterattacked dozens of armored footsteps thundered down the corridor. Approaching the hub, Porter's voice trembled. They're coming. Reese placed a hand on his shoulder. Then we hold. Not fight, not win, not kill. Hold. Because every second they held meant Maya needed one. Second less to take the ship. The Krylon appeared. Weapons raised. Reese's team raised no guns. Instead, Reese shouted, Maya, cut gravity! She slammed her palm down. The ship's gravity systems snapped offline. The Krylon soldiers, heavy, armored, massive, floated, slow, clumsy, helpless. The humans? Light, balanced, adaptive. Humans were born on a planet of climbing, falling, moving bodies. Zero-G felt like a playground. Reese pushed off a wall and drifted straight toward the nearest Krylon. Tapping a control panel on their armor, magnetic lock engaged. The soldier slammed into the ceiling and stayed there, stuck like a bug on a windshield. Porter and Davis followed, disabling each Krylon one by one, not killing, just neutralizing. The Krylon were not being defeated by strength. They were being defeated by understanding. Humans adapt. Others react. The moment. Everything changes. Maya's eyes widened. Captain, I have full ship control. Reese exhaled slowly. Good. Seal the bridge. Panels slammed shut around Commander Vrax and his officers, trapping them inside. Red alarms blared. Vrax roared, slamming fists against sealed doors. What have you done? Reese spoke calmly into the shipwide communication system. We did what humans always do. The commander strikes back, the Krylon flagship. Blood Horizon was now under human control, but control is not the same as victory. Trapped predators, the most dangerous. And Commander Vrax was not finished, not even close. The roar in the walls, the ship shook, not from battle, but from something inside it. A roar echoed through the metal corridors, deep, primal, furious. It was Vrax, even sealed inside the bridge behind locked blast doors. His voice carried like thunder. Mans! The sound made some of the younger crew members freeze, but Captain Reese did not flinch. He had heard screams like that on Earth, on battlefields, burning cities, collapsing stations. Noise doesn't kill you, fear does, and humans learned long ago how to fight fear. Reese tapped the shipwide comm. This is Captain Reese Warren. Bridge secure. Phase 2 begins. Maya nodded, already working. But Davis hesitated. What about Vrax? He's not going to just sit in there, Reese answered without looking up. No, he's going to break something. Inside the sealed bridge commander, Vrax paced like a caged beast. His officers watched him. Nervous, open the doors, he ordered. We can't, one officer stammered. The humans have overridden the lock systems. Vrax slammed him against a console. We are Krylon. We do not accept cages. Another officer spoke cautiously. There is one way, the internal override, but it will overload the bridge's ventilation systems. Vrax grinned slowly. Then we do not breathe. The officers stared. Vrax repeated. Louder, we do not breathe. And they began. Krylon physiology was capable of short-term anaerobic survival, something humans did not know. At least, not yet. Back in the central hub, Maya monitored the ship's systems. Bridge life support is dropping. They're venting oxygen on purpose. Reese rubbed his chin. So Vrax chooses pain over defeat. Expected, Porter swallowed. Captain, if they break out, they won't, Reese said calmly, but his eyes were sharp. He knew Vrax was smart. Smart enemies are the worst enemies. Maya spoke again. We need to lock down the entire ship before the Krylon regroup. I'm ready to transfer full control. But I need the captain's bio-sign to authorize. Reese placed his hand on the console panel, but the system didn't accept. A tone sounded. Access level. Restricted. Maya's eyes widened. That means only one thing. Reese finished. Ship no longer recognizes Krylon command. The humans weren't just controlling the ship was switching loyalty. The Krylon counter moved far below, deep in the lower deck. A heavy vault opened. Inside it was a monstrous machine frozen in containment. Krylon Berserker unit, not a soldier. A biological war engine, muscle and armor fused with metal, designed for one purpose: break anything, even a ship. A guard activated it. Its eyes snapped open. Its roar shook the bulkheads. The humans hear it. The sound rolled. Through the corridors like thunder. Davis froze. What was that? Reese didn't answer. Maya whispered, voice tight. They released a berserker. They only use those when they plan to destroy everything, including themselves. Reese turned slowly toward his crew. Then we stop it. Porter blinked. With what? We don't have weapons. Reese nodded once. Correct. He tapped his temple. We use the ship. Maya smiled. Now she understood. The hunt begins. The berserker charged through the corridors, smashing walls, ripping through steel doors like paper. It was heading straight for the central hub. The humans positioned themselves carefully. Not to fight, to lure. Reese spoke low. Davis. Open corridor C12. Davis hit the control. A wide path opened, a direct line to them, a trap. The berserker saw it and roared. Sprinting like a living tank, Reese held his ground. Wait. The creature got closer, closer, closer. Its footsteps vibrated the floor. Maya whispered, now? Reese, not yet. The berserker leaped, now! Maya slammed her palm onto the gravity control. The corridor's gravity inverted. The berserker shot upward, slamming into the ceiling at full speed. Body cracked against steel, but it wasn't. Dead, not even close. Reese spoke calmly. Again, Maya flipped the gravity. Back, slam. The berserker hit the floor, still moving, still. Alive, still angry. Davis shouted, Captain! It's not stopping. The commander's last gambit, the Krylon flagship blood. Horizon drifted in silence. Not peaceful silence. Hunting silence. The kind that comes when two predators realize there is no escape. The humans held the ship's systems. The Krylon commander still held the heart of the crew, and one side would break. But neither side was human. Humans do not break. The voice. Across the ship, the lights dimmed, and every speaker on the ship crackled to life. A voice spoke. Slow, cold, controlled fury hiding beneath calm. It was Commander Vrax. Humans, he said, each syllable sharp like a blade. You believe you have won? Reese and his crew stopped in the central hub and listened. Vrax continued. You have taken my ship. You have trapped me here. You have defeated my warriors. A pause. But you have made a mistake. Reese's eyes narrowed. Vrax's voice grew dark. You think humans are unique, special, dangerous. The question hung in the air like a storm cloud. But tell me, what happens when your mercy becomes your weapon's weakness? Maya's hands froze above her console. Something was wrong. The reveal. Vrax spoke again, soft, almost amused. There are 1,800. Krylon civilians aboard this ship. The room froze. Not soldiers, not warriors. Families, engineers, younglings, workers. They were never supposed to be on a warship. Davis whispered. They use their ships like cities. Oh no. Reese closed his eyes. Now he understood. The Krylon didn't just build warships. They built moving nations. And when humans took control of the ship, they didn't just capture a military target. They captured innocent lives. Vrax knew, and now the crew knew. The psychological strike. Vrax continued. You will not destroy this ship. You will not kill us. Your human morality will not allow it. His voice sharpened. And that means the war is not over. Maya's hands trembled, not with fear, but with rage. He's using children as shields. Reese said nothing. He was thinking. This was the difference. Other species fought with claws, guns, ships, humans. Humans fought with pressure, with calm, with cold decision. He opened comms. "Commander Vrax," Reese said. Voice steady. "Release the civilians and we will negotiate terms." Vrax laughed. A terrible, genuine laugh. "You still believe in mercy?" Reese's expression did not change, but his heartbeat slowed, controlled, focused. The crew's splits porter spoke first. "Captain, we can't fire. We kill them too," Maya added. "And if we hesitate, Vrax will regroup and counterattack." Davis shook his head rapidly. "We can't kill civilians. That crosses a line. Humans don't do that." The statement hung in the air heavy true, but Reese understood. Something the others didn't. This was exactly what Vrax wanted. Humans were bound by empathy, so Vrax weaponized it. Reese spoke quietly. "Listen to me. All of you." They turned to him. "We do not harm civilians. Ever." Relief flickered across their faces. "But we will not surrender this ship." They looked confused. Davis asked, "Then what do we do?" Reese answered, "We make Vrax believe we are capable of anything." Silence, then Maya smiled, a slow, dangerous smile. "Oh," she said. "I like this plan." The message sent Maya began transmitting a signal. Open frequency, visible to every living being aboard the ship. A message appeared on every screen, every wall projector, every hollow panel. Live feed, Commander Vrax's bridge room, the beat. Krylon civilians turned to look. They saw their commander not as a hero, but as a man who locked himself in a room while his own people were in danger. Maya amplified audio, Vrax's breathing. His frustration, his fear. Reese spoke into the ship-wide comm. "Krylon citizens, we are not your enemy. We will not harm you. But your commander is willing to sacrifice you to save himself." Whispers spread. Quick, sharp, dangerous. Vrax roared, "Silence that broadcast!" But his officers hesitated. They had families. On board too, the power dynamic shifted, not through violence, through truth. The breaking point. Vrax grabbed his plasma blade and smashed the console. The screen flickered. Maya gasped. "He's cutting his way out." Reese nodded once. "It's time." The team moved. No shouting, no panic. Purpose. Reese turned to his crew. "We don't fight him. We expose him." The door to the central hub trembled. Metal screeched. Vrax was coming. Davis whispered, "What if we lose?" Reese answered, "Then we lose standing, not kneeling." The door exploded inward. Smoke. Sparks. Vrax stepped through, armor cracked, eyes burning. Human. Reese stepped forward. "No, Commander." He dropped into a ready stance. "Just a man." Vrax lowered his blade. "So be it. No ships. No armies. No strategy now. Just one human. One Krylon commander. One fight." This is where survival becomes legend. The duel of commanders. The central hub fell silent. No alarms. No shouting. No footsteps. Just two figures facing each other beneath the pulsing core of the Krylon flagship. Human versus Krylon. Captain Reese Warren. Calm eyes. Controlled breathing. Stance steady, Commander Vrax. Burning gaze. Muscles coiled. Plasma blade glowing like a captured star. The galaxy outside waited without knowing it. Because sometimes wars don't end with fleets. They end with two leaders deciding everything. No weapons needed. Vrax pointed his plasma blade at Reese. "You stand before a warrior born of blood and conquest. You stand before the strongest of the Krylon Dominion." Reese didn't move. He didn't posture. He didn't threaten. He simply spoke. "I stand." Vrax blinked. He did not understand. Reese continued, voice calm. "You think strength is muscle. But muscle is only power when controlled by the mind that guides it." He spread his hands. Empty. No gun. No blade. No armor. Just a human. Vrax snarled, enraged by the quiet confidence. "You insult me." Reese answered, "No. I show you the difference between us." The first clash. Vrax charged. Fast. Heavy. The force of a crashing meteor. Reese did not meet the force. He moved aside. Like a door opening, Vrax stumbled forward, off balance for a split second. Reese struck once, open hand, right behind Vrax's mandible plates, where nerves cluster, a precise hit. Not strong, strategic. Vrax staggered, his eyes widened. He had expected strength. He received technique. Reese spoke softly. You fight like a weapon. He shifted his stance. I fight like a survivor. Why? Humans endure. The Krylon believed war was won with force. Humans learned long ago it was won with timing. Understanding will when Earth was young. Humans fought wolves, storms, hunger, and each other. Not to win glory, to stay alive. Reese had been a soldier on Earth before he ever looked at the stars. He knew pain. He knew fear. He knew how to move with them, not against them, but Vrax? Vrax had only ever known victory, and warriors who have never lost do not know how to react when the battle doesn't go their way. Vrax adapts, the Krylon commander snarled. Shifting tactics. No more furious charges. He now moved slower, more controlled. Learning. Reese's eyes flickered. Good. This was no longer a test of strength. It was a test of growth. They circled each other. Lit by the pulsating glow of the ship's power, Cordet, Maya, and the crew watched from the side. None intervened. This was a fight of meaning, a fight to determine what it meant to lead, strike, counter, silence. Vrax feinted left. Reese slipped right. Reese grabbed the edge of the plasma blade, skin sizzling, and redirected it. Pain shot. Through him, he did not cry out. He did not let go. Humans don't run from pain. They use it. Reese twisted, kicked behind Vrax's knee joint. The giant fell to one knee. Vrax slammed a claw into Reese's shoulder. Drawing blood, both men breathed hard. Both were injured. Neither backed away. Davis whispered, Captain. Maya whispered back, no, this is his fight. Let him finish it. The turning point. Reese stepped back. He was bleeding. Breath sharp, vision flickering, but his voice stayed calm. Vrax, listen, the Krylon commander growled, preparing to charge again. Reese raised his voice. Firm, you can kill me, maybe, but your people will still fall. Because your rule is built on fear. He pointed at the ship around them. This ship is yours. Your crew is yours. Your civilians trust you. But what have you given them? Vrax froze. Reese continued. You told them strength is survival, but survival is not dominance. His voice softened, but grew more powerful. Survival is protecting those behind you. Vrax's breath trembled, not from fear, from something worse. Recognition. Because somewhere, buried deep behind the armor, Vrax understood. He had been raised to conquer, but never to care. The final move, Reese lowered his hands. No stance, no guard, no defense, just honesty. If you kill me now, you win this room, but you lose your people. Silence. The ship itself seemed to wait. Vrax looked at Reese, then at the humans, then at the sealed doors, at the frightened civilians who had watched everything. Slowly. The plasma blade lowered, but his eyes were wet, with something Krylon did not have words for. Emotion. He whispered, What am I if not a warrior? Reese answered, Something greater. Vrax closed his eyes. The fight was over, but the war? The war had just changed. The Krylon command, the new alliance, the Krylon flagship. Blood Horizon floated in orbit above a silent star. Inside its great halls, something had happened that no history book had ever recorded before. Krylon commander had bowed his head to a human, not because he had been defeated, but because he had understood. Commander Vrax remained kneeling, breathing slowly. The plasma blade lay on the ground beside him, dim now, its glow fading. Captain Reese Warren stood before him, bloodied, bruised, exhausted, but standing. The crew watched in a frozen quiet. This moment was history. This moment would echo through galaxies. Reese spoke first, softly, but the words filled the room. This doesn't end with humiliation or surrender. It ends with choice. Vrax slowly lifted his head. Choice. That was something the Krylon had not been given in generations. A deal that changes. Stars Reese extended his hand. Not a command. Not a demand, an invitation. Stand with us. Not behind us. With us. Vrax stared at the hand. A human hand. Small compared to his own, but steady, brave, unshaken. His voice was rough. Why would you offer your hand? To your enemy? Reese answered. Because enemies are just allies who haven't learned each other yet. Silence. Then, Vrax placed his massive hand in Reese's. The room exhaled. Deal was made, not written in ink, not enforced by weapons, made in understanding. Freeing the ship Maya. Moved to the comm controls. Preparing a broadcast, all decks. Open channel. Reese nodded to her. Do it. Maya's voice filled every hallway, every home compartment, every chamber. To all Krylon civilians and crew. The conflict is over. You are safe, civilians gasped. Soldiers paused. Engineers froze mid-step. Then, she added something no Krylon had ever heard from an enemy. We did not come to destroy you. We came to show you another way to live. The words felt impossible, but they were true. The Krylon reaction. At first, there was confusion, then disbelief, then whispers. They could have killed us. But did not. They could have destroyed the ship. But didn't. They protected us. And slowly, sparks began glowing on Krylon's skin. Not fire, not light, emotion, a faint bioluminescent shimmer. The first their species had seen in centuries. Even Vrax looked at his hands, stunned. We are glowing. Reese smiled. That is what happens when you stop living in fear. The first step toward peace, the Krylon Council was summoned through hololink from their central planet. They expected a hostage negotiation. Instead, they saw something they had never imagined. Their commander and a human. Standing together, the Council's elder voice trembled. Commander Vrax, explain yourself. Vrax stood tall, not submissive, not ashamed. Humans are not weak, he said. They are dangerous because they fight with purpose, not instinct. He looked at Reese. They showed honor, restraint, strength of mind. He turned back to his people. We have forgotten what it means to feel. To choose, to live. The Elder Council members tried to protest. That is emotion. Emotion is chaos, but Vrax interrupted. No, emotion without guidance is chaos. Emotion with purpose is evolution. The galaxy would quote that line for years. A new alliance. Reese stepped beside Vrax. Humanity did not come to rule you, he said. We came to survive with you. The room fell silent, because for the first time, the Krylon realized humans were not predators. They were partners. Two species that came from different worlds. One born in cold discipline. One born in fire and storms, both strong. Both unbroken, united? They would be unstoppable. The Council spoke at last. Very well. We will open talks with Earth. History changed, right there. Returning home. Not as survivors, but as leaders. When the Horizon 12 finally returned to Earth space, countless ships escorted them, not as prisoners, as ambassadors. The moment Reese stepped onto Earth soil, thousands cheered, but Reese didn't smile. He simply said, we didn't win a war. We prevented one. Humans had not conquered. They had guided. They had not dominated. They had taught. If you enjoyed this video, like this video, subscribing, and clicking the bell icon to stay updated with fresh content every day.